Now, turning, if I could, to you, Professor Azimoglu, let me ask you a little bit about AI in the recruiting context, in the recruiting and hiring context. My understanding is that increasingly companies are using AI recruiting tools to, what they would say, enhance efficiency in the hiring process. This is especially true among large established companies. My concern is this, is that AI's application to recruitment is often controversial because hiring is an inherently subjective process. And we were just discussing, in fact, some of the issues when you use AI to make what we might call people decisions, and some of the biases that AI tends to scoop up and replicate. One example of this is Amazon in 2018, where it's reported that AI software used in the hiring process systematically discriminated against women. So my question to you is this: where would you draw the line on AI decision-making in hiring practices? What should we be aware of or concerned about there?
Excellent question. Thank you very much, Senator Hawley. I think that's a very difficult question. I am very concerned about all uses of AI that takes away human judgment, especially when human judgment is very important. And this becomes particularly concerning when AI practices then legitimize things that were not previously completely accepted. Let me give you an example. For instance, imagine that we have an AI system that puts a lot of weight on somebody having completed a 4-year college for essentially a semi-manual task. It's quite easy how that might come about. 4-year college workers are doing much better in the labor market. But for many semi-manual tasks, those college skills are not that important. But if the AI system starts putting that emphasis, it's going to start turning a lot of good candidates down. The more it does that, the more it becomes accepted that you should really have a 4-year college to become an electrician. And then our social norms and our expectations completely shift, even though the original decision to turn down, people who had just a high school degree was not right. So this is not a hypothetical situation because we are having a lot of similar cases happen when AI systems are engaged in decision-making, especially when people don't know how to evaluate them. There's a lot of evidence, for example, that doctors who get AI recommendations don't know how to evaluate it, and they sometimes get confused where the AI recommendation comes from. And they may put overweight on things that they shouldn't really overweight because they don't understand the black box nature of these systems. So I think human judgment and the expert opinion of people who have accumulated expertise is going to be very important. This is particularly true when we start using AI not just for recruitment, but lots of other human resource tasks. For example, promotion, or deciding who's doing well, or how to assign workers to different shifts. I think all of these we're going to do much better, which if we do something broadly consistent with what I tried to emphasize in my written testimony, choose a pro-human direction of AI, which means that we try to choose the AI technology's trajectory in a way that empowers humans, and then we train the decision makers so that they have the right expertise to work with AI. And that includes valuing their own judgment, not becoming slaves of the AI system. Thank you for that question.
No, very good. And your answer touches on something that I think is so important, that we can't lose sight of who has control of the AI and who the AI is benefiting. And I've said over and over, I'm sure that these giant corporations who are developing AI, I'm sure that they'll make lots of money on it. I mean, I have no doubt about that. Will it be good for the people that they employ? And in particular, will it be good for working people in this country? I'm less certain about that, and I see my friend Senator Blumenthal across the dais. In a hearing that we had recently, I still remember the testimony of a large corporate executive who just remarked offhand that it was wonderful that AI was doing things like replacing people who work at fast food restaurants. And he said, and I think he just expected everyone to agree, because, of course, those are not creative tasks, so it's good we can do without them. I thought, wait a minute. It's easy for you to say as you sit in your position in the C-suite. Maybe not so much for the person for whom that's a first job. That's getting a foothold in the labor market from which she can advance to something else. So I think who controls the AI and what the biases are in it in the way that you point out is very, very important. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.